Welcome, everybody, once again. It's been a pleasure, immense pleasure, having you guys join me in this live call this evening, and of course, on the journey to discovering the new version of yourselves. And I'm also on the same journey with you. I am about discovering the new version of myself as well. And for those of you that have watched the live, the welcome video, I've made it clear that I am not a superhuman somewhere telling you what to do. I am on the same journey just like you are. And this is something that I have done many times and it has yielded results for me. And this is the exact reason why I felt it is worthy of sharing with you, even as a free offering, because this is something that I actually give on a commercial note. But without much ado, I just want to say thank you for believing in yourself. I think I've shared that message already in the group. And today we're going to be touching on the very first base, which is the objective. There's no point going through anything that you want to go through in life if you don't have a good sense of why. Because your sense of why is your Google map. Your sense of why is your compass. Your sense of why is your plots that guides you when you get into the nitty gritty of things and you feel like backing out. It is your sense of why that redirects you, that guides you to say, you know what, you've started this journey and you must. And today we're kicking off with how is your why. Maybe someone wants to put that in the comment. How strong is your why? Because the strength of your objective determines the strength of your output. The stronger your objective, the stronger the output that you get, even in the things that you do. I hope my volume is good. Someone is telling me to check my volume. Okay, maybe it's the airport, but I believe just let me know if you can hear me clearly. All right, so without much ado, let me just get right into it. I will open up with a story, and it's about a set of twins. A set of twins raised by the same parents, same output, same environment, same neighborhood, same upbringing, pretty much similar nature, everything. They had the same exposure to pretty much the same circumstance. And these parents happen to be abusive alcoholics. I can see that the picture is changing in your head as you are following the movie script. Twins raised by abusive alcoholics. Now, guess what? Somewhere along the line, these children, these twins, turned out differently. One turned out to be excellent in his ways. He became responsible. He tried to chart a different path for himself to become successful, while the other person went the exact opposite way. I mean, he went irresponsible and all that. He became delinquent and stuff. So when they were all brought together and they were interviewed to say, you know what, why did you, Mr. A, turn out to be successful? The answer he gave was simple. He said, because I was raised by an abusive alcoholic. They asked the other guy, you, why did you turn out to be irresponsible? And the answer he gave was the same. He said he was raised by an abusive alcoholic. Now, both of them had same input, but they turned out expressing a different output. What does this story tell us? We all have choices in our life. Any and everything that we turn out to be, the responsibility is on us. We are the architects of our destiny. We are the ones who chart the course of our lives. And that is the truth of the matter. And I just want to get that out of the way, that this is not the place where you blame the past government, the present government, or the future government for the circumstances of your life. Fine, there will be environmental factors, but the truth of the matter is what you end up becoming is your choice. And that is one thing that you should note from the get go. What you end up becoming is first your choice. Now, let me talk about what motivates your why. There are two things that motivate your why. The first of which is pain, and the other one is pleasure. Pain and pleasure, these are the two key motivational factors in your life. You are either running from a pain or you are running towards a pleasure. Take out your materials and you're taking notes. You are either in life running from a pain or running towards a pleasure. However way it is, you are running. Everybody is running. Everybody is on a race. Now, look at it in the course of our journey on the WhatsApp group. I've shared 7 key areas of your life, whether it's physical, whether it is spiritual, whether it is emotional, whether it is mental, whether it is social, whether it is financial, whether it is environmental. Any of those 7 key areas of your life, if you give it a critical look, you are either running from pain, something that you're not satisfied with, or you are running towards pleasure, something that you want more of. And that is what motivates your pain. Now, research has made us to understand that the motivational power of pain is different from the motivational power of pleasure. I'll take that again. The motivational power of pain is different from the motivational power of pleasure. Now, the motivational power of pain is 2.5 times more than the motivational power of pleasure. What does this mean? It means what motivates you when you are running away from pain, the effect it has on you is 2.5 times more than the effect of the motivation you have towards going for something pleasurable. I'll give a good example. Let's use the physical aspect of our lives. If you are on a journey of fitness, wellness, whatever it is, whether you want to build some muscle, you want to shed some fat, you want to lose some weight, whatever it is on your physical journey, if someone tells you that you should aim for stronger muscles, lower body fat, and all that, the motivation power of that, put that at ratio 1. Now, look at this, another scenario. If someone tells you about dying in the next 2 years because you've got so much fat in your body that is giving you a heart attack, or you've got so much cholesterol in your bloodstreams that if you don't watch it in the next 2 years, you might suffer a blood clot in your arteries or your veins that might make you just get a stroke or get a blood pressure or a cardiac arrest, and you might just slump, God forbid, in the middle of the road and die in the next 2 years if you don't do something about this journey. Will cause you to pay more attention to your physical journey. I want to see it in the comment section. I hope you get the 2 scenarios right now. Is it the motivation for pleasure of having a stronger muscle and a weight loss, or the motivational power of pain, of running away from cardiac arrest? Which one will motivate you more? So if it is the one for pleasure, tell me pleasure. If it is the one for pain, tell me pain. So I want you to type in the comment section pleasure or pain? Which of them is a motivation for you if you are on your physical goals journey? I'm waiting in the comment section. Okay, someone says pain. So just keep them coming, and I hope you guys get the gist. So the next thing that I want to talk about is what informs your decision. When you're talking about your why did you sign up? Why did you say to yourself, the adverts I've seen, the posts that I've seen has motivated me enough to say, you know what, I want to embark on this journey. I want to follow through with this person. What is the reason that you said to yourself, I think I want a new me? Because the truth of the matter is, it is not everybody that signed up that is here in the room today. And it is not everybody that is here today that will be with us 100 days from now. That is the truth of the matter, and that is life. But to yourself, be true. What is your why? And what is informing the decision that you have? That is something that you should also write in your notes. To say to yourself, what informs the decision that I have? And let me guide you into what I mean by the decisions or the information that guides your decision. For instance, the things that you desire in life, all right, is a function of the things that you are already exposed to. If you want to desire a car, that means you're already exposed to that information that the car exists. For instance, if you go to a completely rural area where the best that they've seen is a bicycle, and you ask that kind of person, what do you desire as an automobile? The person will tell you that I desire a brand new bicycle. The person is placing the desire or his goal or his ambition on the level of information that he has. Now, if you ask someone that is in the city that what is your automobile desire, the person might mention the latest edition of the cars that are out there. You could mention a brand like a Mercedes-Benz brand, a Range Rover, a Land Rover, whatever it is. Now, if you ask some other people, their ambition is not even about an automobile because they have an automobile already. Maybe their ambition is getting a boat, their ambition is getting a yacht, their ambition is getting a private jet, their ambition is getting something else. Whatever it is that you desire in life, or whatever it is that your ambition is, whatever it is that fuels your drive, your goal is premised on the level of information that you are exposed to, which is the reason why we are talking about the subject of the strength of your why. Some of you might have joined this journey to say, you know what, I mean, it's a nice to have to get a better version of myself. But how many of you have actually taken time to define this new me that you want in 100 days? Because the definition of the new me that you want for yourself will determine how accurate the picture will be when you eventually discover the new me. If you just say, okay, I'm joining a bunch of people that are joining a group, it's an accountability program, they're setting goals, they want to be the best of themselves. Yeah, let's join and let's be happy and let's be jolly and all that. And you don't have a clear cut vision for what the new me means to you. 100 days might pass and you might not really be able to evaluate the results that you get. All right. So let's move on. You must make informed decisions. And how do we arrive at the informed decisions? One of them is what I call the triple N. Okay? The triple N is nature, nurture, and neighborhood. I repeat, nature, nurture, and neighborhood. You want to write that down in your notes. Now, your nature is your genetic framework, whatever it is that you must have inherited from your parents by way of your personality traits, your genetic code, and all that. That informs your nature, whether you are introvert, extrovert, whatever it is. All that is in your nature. Your nurture, number two, speaks to your upbringing, your background. How were you raised? What was the mindset of your parents? What were the value systems you were exposed to? What is your definition of right? What is your definition of wrong? What is your definition of what is permissible? What is your definition of what is abominable? That speaks to your nurture, the society around you, and the value systems that you've embraced or your belief systems that you've adopted in the course of your life. That is your nurture. Number three is your neighborhood. What kind of environment did you grow up in? Did you grow up in the village? Did you grow up in the suburban area? Did you grow up in the urban area? Did you grow up in the city? Even cities have categories because the places that you grow up with, in the environment that you see around you, also determines the kind of things that you aspire to become. I'm sure you must have heard that quote said that if you hang around the barber shop long enough, you'll get a haircut. If you hang around the restaurant long enough, you get a meal. If you hang around four billionaires, you might become the fifth. That is the power of proximity, and that speaks to environment. It's just the way a chameleon absorbs the color of its environment. We as humans, we also absorb even the signals and the vibes that the environment sends to us. And this is the reality of the matter. I'm going to be teaching this in subsequent classes, but we need to build a foundation as to what informs the decisions that we make, not just the quantity of our decisions, but the quality of our decision. So all of this make up the strength of our why. Am I making sense? Let me move on to the next thing. I want to also talk about programming. Many people have given up on their dreams because of the programming they have been subjected to. In the course of this program, we are going to be teaching on programming and mindset, and we're going to be dealing with so many issues along the line. But I want you to come into this program with an open mind. Come into this program with an open mind in such a way that you don't subject yourself to limited mindset. And oftentimes, limited mindset or programming is always a function of your past experience. For instance, if you have had a bad experience about trying something before, the chances are that you might be reluctant to try the thing again because you might feel, I've tried this thing before, it didn't work. Why should I bother this time around? I've I've subscribed to all kinds of goal setting programs before. I start out in January, I chunk out in February. This is yet another coach somewhere claiming to be selling one goal setting program or the other. Why should I join? But don't let the programming of your life kill the why or the hunger of your life. That is one thing that I also want to make you understand as we move on in this journey. The next thing that I also want to talk about is that hunger. Let me talk about hunger for a minute. Hunger is about your drive, it's about how badly you want something. And the intent of hunger, the purpose of hunger is not to kill you. The purpose of hunger is to fuel a desire for food. The purpose of hunger is actually to get you better strength. The purpose of hunger is not to kill you. So it is never a wrong thing to have sufficient hunger for the. Another thing you must understand about hunger, hunger does not come from outside. Hunger comes from inside. Hunger is not inflicted on someone. Hunger pangs come from inside someone. For instance, as a coach, I can't teach you hunger. I can't impress hunger on you. There is no motivational talk that I can give you in this session that can make you hungry if you do not choose to be hungry. Because hunger is actually generated from within. Hunger is a result of an absence of something in your life. In your digestive system, if you don't have food, it generates the pain of hunger pangs in your system that makes you crave for food. So hunger is not something that comes from outside. Hunger is actually something that comes from inside. So however way you want to look at it, the strength of your why is not something that anybody will confer on you. The strength of your why is actually self-driven. Anyone that is hungry will give whatever it takes to get satisfaction. People that are hungry, they don't settle for lack of food. They will beg, borrow, or steal, do whatever it takes to survive. Because the mind, the brain is wired to keep the body alive. So whenever you are hungry for something, the body will go to work to begin to look for how to satisfy that hunger. But if the hunger has not gotten to that stage that it moves you to go look for solution, then you are not yet hungry. This program is designed for those that are hungry. If you are not hungry, you might not get the benefits of this program because it is the level of your hunger that will determine the level of your motivation, that will determine the level of your drive. It is your hunger, which is your sense of absence of something, that propels the drive to take the right action in pursuit of that thing. And when you are taking the right action in pursuit of that thing, you might not necessarily find it in sight, but the move that you make is what is going to compel you to draw the resources to you. And that is the way nature has designed us in this environment, that you need to make the first move. That is the way it works. Nobody is handed a free lunch. You need to make the first move, then the result of what you're looking for will come to you. I had an opportunity to have a conference somewhere in the Middle East. And when the opportunity came, just like the opportunity came to everyone, I also got the opportunity as well. But I was a little concerned about investing in such a conference. I want this conference. How hungry am I for this conference? If I was to look at my bank account, I didn't have enough means to spare for that conference. By the time I consider travel, visa, hotel accommodation, the fees, and all that, it was quite a high ticket. But guess what? I was hungry. And that is what I want to teach us in this program. That when you are hungry, it doesn't necessarily mean that what you are looking for will be within reach. It is your hunger that will propel you the drive to make some actions. So what I did, I went to the convener of the conference and I made my point clear that, hey, guess what? I am hungry. I want this conference so bad. For some people, it might be a nice to have, but for me, it is a need to have. Let's work around something. What kind of arrangement can we work around? I don't have the lump sum to set aside and put on this conference. How about we work out a payment plan? And the person was like, okay, fantastic. If you are hungry, I will help you. And what's happening? The rest is history. I went for the conference and it was amazing. And I got opportunity to meet, to establish some new business. Other things happened from that conference. But why am I drawing reference to that story. Many of us are on a journey in our lives where the things that we are looking for are not within reach. But the question I want to ask you today, why do you want this thing so bad? Because if your why is weak, your drive will be weak. If your drive is weak, your actions will be weak. That is, your moves will be weak. And if your moves are weak, the help that will come to you will be weak. Are you getting the point? So it doesn't mean that just because you are hungry is a right or an entitlement for people to want to help you. No, it is the vibes that you send out there. It is the level of your hunger, the level of your drive, the level of your moves, the kind of passion that you express towards desiring something, and the actions that you take in the direction of that thing that will draw it to you. When people see that you need it badly enough or you want it badly enough, then they will think of how can I help you. A little example is the workbook, which I'm going to talk about at the end of the session. I deliberately didn't mention the price of the workbook because I wanted people to understand the value of the workbook. How badly do you want it? Now, there are some people that their goals or their journey, what they want in life or what they want in the next 100 days, is not worth the effort. It's not worth it. Like, well, I don't have any goal inside, Jerry. Let me bounce. And they bounced. And some people, they didn't sign up. That's why, if you notice in the welcome video, the very first thing I said is that you have made the biggest move. And that is what I'm going to be teaching on this journey. Everything starts with a leap of faith. The biggest move you've made so far is to sign up. Once you have signed up, you are now getting yourself into the ecosystem that will deliver to you the blueprint to achieving your goals. But we have been programmed all our lives to think that we are entitled to things just because we exist. So if I want to go, all I need to do is to say I want or snap a finger and it will be delivered. That is not how life works. Life responds to your passion. Life responds to your hunger. Life responds to your drive. Life responds to your moves. And in the next 100 days, we're going to be making some big moves. Somebody type in the comment section, big moves. We're going to be making big moves. All right? So let's move on. Like I said, I'm trying to follow my notes so that I don't take too much time. All right? What is your why? What is your why? What do you want? I've given you a guide. There are 7 areas to your life. Now, take that writing material that you have in front of you. For those of you that have your workbooks, this is the part where you begin to take your notes to say, physically, this is what I want. I'm going to break it down on the 7 areas of your life. Want, write it there. Spiritually, what do you want? And when I say spiritually, to accessing your spirituality. So don't ever mix them up at any point in time in your life. Be clear on the definition. Spiritually, and if you check out the WhatsApp group, I've defined it in a way that you will have a clearer understanding. So you can go back to the WhatsApp group and make reference to those definitions that I've given and begin to write to yourself what exactly do you want for every of those 7 areas of your life. You need to define it, you need to write it, and you need to make it clear. In subsequent trainings, I'm going to be talking about um, clarity and all that. I'm going to be talking about the details in all those training. But today, we just want to start with why. I'm sure most of you must have read Simon Sinek's book, Start with Why. But I'm digging a little deeper into why this is important to lay the foundation now for your journey ahead. Now, when you take this, your goals, maybe I'm going to talk about it at the end of the session so I don't waste too much time on this. Your why, whether it is physical, whether it is spiritual, whether it is emotional, whether it is mental, whether it is financial, whether it is social, whether it is environmental, any of these goals, can you probe it? Probe. Can you probe your why? Physically, I want to lose weight. I want to lose 20 kilograms. The question is, why? What you now need to do is you get another page, and on the header of the page in your notebook, write 7 levels deep. 7 levels deep. So when you get to that place, physically, you probe it 7 levels deep. And I'll give physically for a reason, as an example, as an illustration. And you now apply it to the other 6 areas of your life. If physically you want, let's use the example of the weight loss. You want to shed 20 kg. What you do, level one, you put why. First, you write physical. I want to lose. I want to lose 20 kg. Then beside it, you write why. You now go to the second line, because I want to whatever answer you put there, put why again, and go to the third line, write the reason for that why. Then at the end of it, you put why again. You do it 7 times. I hope that makes sense. This is where you begin to define your why. If you don't understand it, let me know. We're going to talk more about it in the WhatsApp group. But because it's a live call and I don't want to take much time, I will move on. But the idea of probing your why 7 levels deep is to ask the why beneath the why, beneath the why, beneath the why. And it's going to be a bit of an exercise for you. This is your first exercise where you begin to ask yourself the things you want. Why do you want it? It is then that you begin to ask yourself if this thing is really a need to have or a why to have, or it is a nice to have or a need to have. Now, someone is asking, if I don't have answers, the answers are actually within. The answers don't come as low hanging fruits. That is where the deal is. And that is why you signed up. If the answers to the things that you're looking for to look within, meditate on it as often as you can. It is not something that you need to answer in 5 minutes. There are some questions that it might take a week to answer them, but you need to subject it to time and space and thoughts. And you continue to ask yourself again and again until the aha moment comes into play. When you get the answer to that, write it down. Then go to it again and say, why? For instance, some people say, okay, I want to go to school and get good grades. Why? So that I can get a job. Why? So that I can get good pay. Why? So that I can pay my bills. Why? So that I can be comfortable. Why? That's what I mean. You begin to probe it as deep as you can. And for anywhere that you seem to be getting stuck, just leave it hanging in the air and think about it. This is something that they never taught us in school. And this is one of the things, yes, you need to do it for all the areas, for all the 7 areas. This is something they never taught us in school. And this is one of the things that reduces the drive that we have for our goals. Now, imagine you can clearly answer all your goals. You've probed them 7 levels deep, and you've been able to find a watertight reason why you are embarking on your journey. That will strengthen your why and give you a strong enough resolve to pursue your dreams. Did somebody catch what I just said? I just gave you the secret why most goal setting programs fail is because they were not clear enough on the why, and the why was not strong enough. If your why is strong enough, your drive will be strong enough. If your drive is strong enough, your actions, your moves will be strong enough. And if your actions and your moves are strong enough, your results, they help. Because when you move, God also moves. It moves by way of opportunities, by way of people that want to help you, by way of all kinds of things. But you need to make the first step. God is waiting on you to take that leap of faith. And that leap of faith is subject to the why that is within you. Let's move on because we're almost running out of time. I'll just give you a quick guide as to how you understand that this goal is for real. The first thing that you get out of this goal is what I call income. 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 The next you get is influence. Then the next you get is impact. The why for every goal is the same when you subject them to these three things. The first why is income. And when I mean income, I don't necessarily mean money. Money is one of them, but the income for every goal is different. For instance, if it is a physical goal, the first why, the income will be the physical changes, whether firmer muscles or whether your blood pressure goes down or your body fat reduces. That's the income. But there is a why to that income. The body loss, the weight loss is not the goal. That's why many people miss it. The weight loss is not the goal. There is a reason for that weight loss, and that weight loss is influence. You will now have a reason in the course of that journey. You will have sphere of influence. Maybe your gym bodies, your workout bodies, your yoga bodies, whatever it is you do on the regimen of your physical goals. You will have built a network of people that you can also influence with your story. That is the next level of goal. Now, when you've now built this social, there is something that you do to make yourself known to them, and that is impact. And I'm just using physical, what's it called? Physical goal as one of the example. Let's go to financial, because the elephant in the room for many of us is financial goals. On your financial journey, the first thing you get is income, which is revenue, cash, money, whatever you call it. But money, if money was the goal, everyone would have had money, because at some point in your life, money has flown through your hands. But because our politicians, our leaders do not understand this, they think money is the goal. That's why they sit down at the bottom of, they sit their bum at the bus stop of money, thinking all they can do to remain in office, to keep the money coming in, is the goal. The purpose of money, which is the income for financial goal, is for influence. With money, you buy relation, you buy into a social access group, social status, you buy influence, you get to know people. People want to associate with you because they know that you've got some money and all that. You buy a sphere of influence with the money that you have. Now, what do you do with that sphere of influence? You create impact. I'm going to be teaching all this in details in the course of the journey, but I just want to let you guys understand that if you've been premising your goals on something really shallow, you might not be able to follow through. If you have embarked on any goal setting program before and you have not been rooted into the why you are setting the goal in the first place, you will fall out of the way. Let me move on. Let me talk about the law of marginal utility as we begin to wind it down, because we've got like 12 more minutes. The basic economics, for those of us that did economics back in secondary school, elementary, secondary school, or even in the university, whatever it is, We've heard about utility. Utility is when you use something. And there's a law called the law of marginal utility. It just simply means that when you consume something, it gets to a stage that the more of that thing that you consume, the less satisfaction you get. I'll give you an example. If you are very, very thirsty, you're so thirsty, your tongue is parched and you're so dry and thirsty and all that, and someone gets you a bottle of water, the first thing you do, you open it up and you take a swig. You down it. When you get a mouthful, you let go and you sigh. That sigh is a sigh of relief. I can tell you for free that the first volume that you've taken in before you sighed, that is your utility. By the time you take the next swig, the satisfaction that you get from the next swig will not be as much as the satisfaction you got from the first swig. Did somebody catch that? The satisfaction you get from the next swig will be nothing compared to the satisfaction you get from the first swig. And it's the same thing that happens in subsequent uh, swigs that you take. When you now go again the third time, it gets to say you're like, okay, I'm good, I'm okay. You're no longer thirsty. Now, why should we care about the law of marginal utility in this training? If you are not hungry enough, you will not be satisfied enough. I hope somebody caught that. It is the level of your hunger that will determine the level of your satisfaction. So I want to wet the ground in this very first training session that we have right now with us having a very huge or a very strong why and a very deep hunger for the goal. I tell you, my friends, there are so many things that you need to do to achieve your goal. But the number one thing that you need to do is to have a very deep hunger. Because if you are not hungry, jare, you just be living a jare life if you're not hungry. And this program is not for jare people. Put it in the comments. I am not a jare person. I am going to kill myself if necessary to achieve this goal. That is why I am putting it to you to make sure you must qualify your goal. If your goal is not strong enough, if your goal does not scare you, go and dream another goal. If your goal is not making you tremble, go and dream another goal. You're not ready. Until that goal is like the kind of goal that you cannot reach. The first video I put out when I was promoting this program, I made reference to Zig Ziglar's quote. It says, set a goal so high, not a goal that is within your means. Set a goal so high that you cannot achieve it until you grow into the person who can. And that is how life works. Dangote built a refinery. He set a goal that he himself could not achieve until he grew into the person who can. Any outstanding or phenomenal person on planet Earth that makes outstanding stuff, those goals that they set were not goals that were within their reach. They always set the goals that are way above them, but they themselves will not have to grow into that level that can achieve it. That is how it works. That is what I'm teaching in this program. That is what's going to make us win. Who is with me? If you're with me, I want to see emojis of you letting me know that you're with me on. Now let's talk about the last 100 days of your life. If you bring out a calendar, in fact, let's just do a bit of practical now. Let me see if I can just pull up the calendar. Today is 23rd, right? Let's do the last 100 days. Let's just assume 23rd of June was 30 days, 23rd of May, 60 days. I'm just assuming 23rd of April, 90 days. Then let's say 13th of April. Let's just assume for the purpose of this training that 13th of April was 100 days ago. And I want to do something right now that is going to shock you or blow your mind. 13th of April, whether you like it or not, you were alive. Whatever that date was. Let's say 13th of April was a Thursday. Let's assume. On the 13th of April, you were alive. But guess what? You are not the same person that you are today back then when you were 13th of April. But what did you do with the 100 days prior to today? What did you do differently? We all know that insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result, right? But now you found yourself in a situation whereby 13th of April, maybe we're just recovering from elections, whether you're happy with the elections or not, or you're like anxious about how the government is going to take over or not take over, what is going to happen in this my life? Am I going to Jackpa? Am I not going to Jackpa? What's going on with my job? What's going on with my physical life? What's going on with my emotional life? What's going on with my spiritual life? And you had all that locked down. But the truth of the matter is, 100 days has passed between April 13 and now. 100 days has passed. So for those of you that think 100 days is one long period ahead, 100 days, can I cope? Can I be? You just finished the 100 days and so many other 100 days in your life. The question is, what are you going to do differently? That is my challenge to you. If you are dissatisfied with your last 100 days, that should fuel your hunger to put in everything that you've got into your next 100 days. That is the way you should look at it. Did somebody just catch a revelation there? That if you are dissatisfied with your last 100 days, that should fuel your drive to put in all that you've got into the next 100 days. Because whether you like it or not, 100 days will go like this, like a flash. But it starts with everything that you put into it on a daily basis. So as we wrap up in the next 4 minutes, and I'll be opening up for questions very soon. So if you have questions, just be populating the chat box with your questions, and I'll be taking them soon. I just want to prep you up for what to expect on this journey. It's going to be an interesting journey. I've done it for B2B clients, and I've got results to show. This is not something that you're not my guinea pig. And because I'm doing it for free, it's not an excuse for it to be of less value to you. And I'll give you an idea or give you a reason why I'm doing this for free. I'm doing this for free because I am instructed to. In the course of this journey, I'm going to be teaching you some things about insight, intuition, instinct, inspiration, and instruction. These are deep level stuff that I can't teach in day one. I'll be teaching you in the course of this journey. You get to understand what these things mean and how to get to those levels where you move from sight to insight, where you move from hearing to instruction, where you move from feeling to intuition, where you move from sniffing or smelling to inspiration. All those things we're going to be teaching them in the course of this journey. I'm delivering this training for free because I was told to do it for free. This training, I deliver it for 500,000 naira to those who want it. That's why when I asked you to watch the welcome video, I said to yourself, how much would you place as value on this training? Now, imagine that you actually paid that money. Because the truth of the matter is, I don't do this kind of things. I don't run ads for such trainings. Because if I run ads for it, people will not understand it because they're not hungry enough. But what I want to do is to deliver this training to those who are hungry and hoping that by the time you mature into the new version of yourself in 100 days, you'll be a better person that will appreciate the value of your life. You will have income, you will have influence, and you will have made impact. And that is exactly why we're doing this. So, in the course of this program, we're going to be digging into different trainings, which I said we're going to be sharing in due course as they come. We're going to be touching on purpose, touching on the 7 C's to achieving your goals. We're going to be touching on quite a number of things that I don't want to bore you with at this level, but I just want you to buckle up and get ready for an amazing ride of your life. All right. So without much ado, I think I should adjourn on today's training for now. And I'll ask only one question: who is hungry? If you're hungry, just type in the comment section, let the fire burn. If you're hungry, just type in the comment section, let the fire burn. We're already done 1 hour. So just say, let the fire burn if you're hungry. That's just what I want to see. If you're hungry and ready to go on this journey, just type, let the fire burn. On that note, I want to say thank you very much for being part of this journey. Maybe when I'm done with the end of the call, I will check the live stream to know those of you that eventually joined live. But for those of you that couldn't make it live, it's okay. No penalties, no judgment yet. But make sure you watch the delayed broadcast. And if today, what we've done as the opening of the class or opening of the session, if it has been of value for you, please get back on the WhatsApp group and share your aha moments. Let me know the parts that really made it for you, the part that resonated for you, and all that. So we're going to be having this class pretty much every weekend. Some days it might be Saturdays, some days it might be Sundays, but it's going to be around this hour, which is 8 to 9, because from the census that we took in the group, I believe this is the time that works for almost everybody around the globe. Okay, so next week, in the course of time, we'll decide if it's going to be on a Saturday or on a Sunday. But however way it's going to be every weekend, because you understand everybody's going to be busy in the course of the week. But be aside the trainings that we'll be having every weekend, there will be times that we'll be having mini trainings. We are not going to get to your daily routine and mess your day up. All right. But we're just going to be creating some subtle things that you need to do in the course of your day. This program is designed to be flexible. This program is designed to work around your day. This program is designed to help you become the best version of you. Now, let me just talk about the workbook before we close. The workbook, we will start filling the details of the workbook. The accountability part, the accountability section of the workbook will start 10 days from now. Or will I say 9 days from now? Because the first 10 days of this program is actually meant to be focused on preparation. So in the course of the week, expect more mini trainings that will prepare you for the accountability journey. So on the 10th day of this program, that is when we will start filling the book. And I will guide you into how you fill the book. For those of you that have watched the welcome video, you would have gotten an idea of exactly what I'm going to do. But I'm going to share more insights based on the training that you'll be receiving. And even from what you've heard today, I'm sure you begin to have an idea of why it is important to actually subject yourself to some powerful moves. Because in that book, there's a place called Power Moves. Now you understand what power moves. Power moves are fueled from power hunger, which is attracting power drive. Power drive attracts power moves, and power moves attract power help. And the more you do this, the more you begin to see results in sight. If you have not gotten your workbook yet, reach out to my team, the person handling the account, Dafix Pictures. Reach out to them and let your uh, order for the workbook come in on time so that the dispatch people, the dispatch company, the logistic companies can get your workbooks to you in good time before we start filling them. Now, what I want to do, because I understand some people have reached out to me and mentioned the fact that there's a bit of a cash flow challenge in getting the book. I believe in placing value in my material, and I also believe in placing value on my discount because I have a book that I wrote before COVID, and in that book I wrote that if your clients do not appreciate your value, they will not appreciate your discount. So I am going to be giving a bit of a discount to only those who appreciate the value. So if you sincerely have a bit of a budget situation with the workbook and you are hungry for the workbook, reach out to Dafix Pictures, okay? And we'll have a conversation about it and we'll decide on what to do. I'll just leave it at that. That is for those that value the book. It's not everybody that values the book. Some people are still trying to wrap it around their head. Why would I buy a book for such amount? I don't care. It is not my job to change your mind. It is my job to tell you the value. And by the time we continue on this training, you begin to see the reasons why it is very much valuable to your goals. Because the question you need to ask yourself is, how much is your goal? How much is your goal worth to you? What are you willing to give to get your goal? If you can't pay 500 naira, 500,000 naira for the training, and you can't even pay less than a tithe of that on the workbook, then what do you want? How hungry are you? What is your power drive? What is your power move? What is your power help? Well, it's for Nigerians that is 500K. For the person that is commenting, it's for Nigerians that I deliver it 500K. For global audience, the price is different, and I won't mention it now because for global trainings, we both know how much trainings or capacity development programs like this are worth. But that is not conversation for today. So I don't take much of the time. We've already done 1 hour, 7 minutes. I want to thank you once again for joining in today and reach out to Dafix Pictures if you have any conversation whatsoever regarding the workbook. And I mentioned just before we entered the training that I asked who wants a free workbook. I'm still going to have the conversation about that in my head. I'll wait for instruction. If anybody I feel is deserving of a free workbook in the course of the week, based on your performance in the group, based on your engagement and all, I will decide who, because I think I'm strong. I'm having a strong feeling that someone deserves a free workbook. Maybe I'll be releasing. Speak to me. Speak to me. I might be doing maybe it's going to be between 1 and 5 workbooks, but I'm not promising yet. But I'll be giving a workbook, but I don't know how many yet. But when we get to that journey, we'll cross it. All right. So thank you very much, everybody. I want to try as much as possible not to take much of your time. I value your time because I know time is life. And I thank you for joining us on this journey. So conversation continues in the WhatsApp group. Okay. So get back on the WhatsApp group, share your aha moments, share what resonated with you, please go back and tell them in the WhatsApp group wherever it is that they are missing so that we can make things happen for ourselves. All right. So once again, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, and have yourself a very fulfilled week. All right. Cheers. So if you have any questions, let's see in the WhatsApp group. Thank you and bye.